4 stories, voice agents, China's chip fund, government testing, Sierra raises. Here is the map for the next 10 minutes. OpenAI ships 3 production voice models. DeepSeek doubles its valuation overnight. The US government just plugged into Google, Microsoft, and xAI. And Sierra raises $950 million on the same day Anthropic and OpenAI did. 4 stories that fit together. Story 1, the biggest builder release of the day. OpenAI just shipped 3 new voice models in the API. Live today, GPT-Realtime 2, GPT-Realtime Translate, and GPT-Realtime Whisper. Voice agents are no longer a research demo, they are production. OpenAI's official launch page calls it a new generation of real-time voice models. The framing matters, they are not iterating on text models. They are launching a separate product line with separate pricing aimed at production voice agents. GPT-Realtime 2 is the headline model. The context window jumped from 32,000 tokens to 128,000. And the reasoning is GPT-5 class. Translation: the voice model can now hold a long live conversation, call tools, handle interruptions, and reason at the level of OpenAI's flagship text model. Translate is the second model, 70 plus input languages, 13 output languages. Real-time paced with the speaker. 3.4 cents per minute. That is a category killer for any vendor selling premium translation APIs at multi-dollar minute rates. And the UX breakthrough buried in the announcement? GPT-Realtime 2 can call multiple tools at once and narrate what it is doing audibly. Phrases like checking your calendar or looking that up now. That removes the silent pause problem that has held production voice agents back for 2 years. Pricing tells you who this is built for: $32 per million audio input tokens, $64 per million audio output tokens. That is premium pricing aimed at sales calls, support escalations, complex assistance, where 1 minute of high-quality reasoning is worth dollars, not cents. The takeaway for builders: until today, voice agents required stitching together speech to text, an LLM, and text to speech. 3 models, 3 latencies, 3 failure modes. OpenAI just collapsed that into one real-time model with reasoning. Any voice product you have shelved waiting for real-time agent quality, take it back off the shelf this week. Story 2. China. DeepSeek is in talks to raise its first ever external funding round at a $45 billion valuation. The lead investor is China's state-backed big fund. The Financial Times broke it yesterday. Bloomberg confirmed the FT's reporting on May 6th. The big fund, formal name, China Integrated Circuit Industry Investment Fund, is in advanced discussions. This would be the fund's first known investment in a large language model developer. Until now, every big fund check has gone to chip companies. $45 billion from $20 billion in weeks. That is a more than double valuation move on a private company that has not changed its product or its team in that window. The change is the buyer, a state vehicle deciding that frontier AI is now a national strategic asset. And the supporting investors are the names you would expect. Tencent, Alibaba, both in talks to participate in the round alongside the big fund. The targeted raise size, $3 to $4 billion. Use of proceeds, compute infrastructure and staff pay. The 2 scarcest resources at any frontier lab. Read the signal carefully. The Chinese state set up the big fund to backstop semiconductor independence. Today, that same fund is leading the round in a frontier LLM lab. The implication is simple. Beijing has officially classified frontier AI as a chip class strategic asset. What to watch? 1. Whether the round closes at 45 or higher. 2. Whether the US response includes more export controls or restrictions on DeepSeek services in the United States. The Trump administration has been weighing both for weeks. This raise probably accelerates that timeline. Story 3. Policy. The US government just plugged itself upstream of every major frontier model launch. 2 days ago, the Center for AI Standards and Innovation, known as CAISI, inside the Commerce Department signed pre-deployment evaluation pacts with Google DeepMind, Microsoft, and xAI. Read nice own framing. CAISI signs agreements regarding frontier AI national security testing. The language is dry, the substance is not. The labs are going to provide their unreleased models to the government for capability and safety evaluations before public launch. 5 of 5. Anthropic and OpenAI signed in 2024. Today's news adds Google DeepMind, Microsoft, and xAI. Every major US frontier lab now has a formal pact with the Commerce Department to share unreleased models before launch. That is not a voluntary recommendation anymore. That is the new default. And CAISI is not new at this. The center has already completed more than 40 frontier AI evaluations to date. The infrastructure is built, the methodology is in place. What is new is the formal pacts that mean every model release goes through it from now on. And the line buried in the announcement that should be the headline, quote, "Developers frequently provide CAISI with models that have reduced or removed safeguards," end quote. The government is testing the models without the public release guardrails. Reading what the model can actually do, not what the polished launch claims. The implication: the next major US frontier model release that ships without a CAISI evaluation is going to look like a regulatory outlier, not an industry standard. Watch Meta, Mistral, and the smaller frontier labs sign equivalent agreements in the next 90 days. The first model that delays a release to address a CAISI finding is the moment this becomes regulation in everything but name. Story 4, Sierra. Bret Taylor's company just closed a $950 million Series E at a $15.8 billion post-money valuation. Tiger Global and Google's GV co-led the largest enterprise AI Series E of the year so far. CNBC broke it on May 4th. The lead investors: Tiger Global, Google's GV. The supporting names: Benchmark, Sequoia, Green Oaks. 3 years from founding to a $15 billion valuation. Bret Taylor is the chairman of OpenAI's board and the former co-CEO of Salesforce. Clay Baver is the former Google executive who ran AR/VR. And here is the part nobody is connecting. Sierra closed the round on May 4th. The same day, Anthropic announced its $1.5 billion Wall Street Services joint venture. The same day, OpenAI announced its $4 billion development company. 3 enterprise AI services moves on the same morning, 3 different angles on the same thesis. The layer above the model is where the next decade of revenue lives. $15.8 billion. For a 3-year-old company that builds agents on top of frontier model APIs, that is an explicit market repricing of where value sits. The model is becoming a commodity, the agent is becoming the product. Read what that means for any SaaS company whose value depends on workflow ownership. What to watch? Whether Sierra publishes ARR or seat counts, the Series E size implies the company crossed a meaningful revenue threshold. The next disclosure resets comparable valuations for every customer service AI startup in the chase, and there are dozens. That is the May 7th briefing. OpenAI shipped voice, DeepSeek doubled, the US government plugged in, Sierra raised, 4 stories, 1 pattern. The model layer is commoditized. The product distribution and policy layers are where the next decade is being written. For ANN Live, this is AI News Now, proof not press releases.